like, how did our lives change? Like, for 4 months, we were rock stars. I went to Vegas, and I, like, hung out with Neymar. Everyone went to the Taylor Swift concert, went on tour. Did you do that?
Correct.
Did you go on stage?
Yes.
I didn't. I was with Neymar. I was busy.
Oh, well, excuse me.
I don't know. I feel like most people would take T-Swift at this point.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah. But I didn't. So
Yeah.
I made it the wrong choice.
We know.
But it was, it was 2015. So.
Yeah.
Neymar was so cute then.
The U.S. Soccer Podcast is presented by Henkel. From pre-game rituals to everyday routines, Henkel helps families prepare for the moments that matter. Because winning starts at home. With Henkel's family of brands, including Persil, laundry detergent, Got2b hairstyling products, Dial soap, and Loctite adhesives.
I'm Meghan Klingenberg, and this is Christen Press and I. Hi, Christen. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
I'm so happy you're here. I just want to let you know I've been so excited to do this.
Yay.
Yeah. But before we start, I want to acknowledge that you've probably done hundreds, actually thousands of interviews in your career. And honestly, so have I. And a lot of it is probably centered around your retirement right now, which, by the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
So proud. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I want you to think of this less as an interview and more of a tour of our most foundational lore together. And the events that have shaped us as people and players. Okay? So we're going to explore 3 different eras and the key moments for us in each of them.
Okay.
Sound good?
As a duo?
As a duo.
Okay, great.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, let's go. The first era, the alternate era.
Oh, gosh. Starting from the low.
The low. Although I kind of feel like this was kind of a high moment. So let me take us back. It's 2012. We're in England. It's the Olympic Games. But before we get into it, who is Christen Press in 2012? Where are you in your life and in your career?
This was a very interesting time. So, finished playing college, was kind of an angsty emo. Like, I'm not a teenager, but I was basically acting like I was 16 when I was 22. I was so emo. Didn't really have a sense of self then. So I was really sad anytime I wasn't in Los Angeles. And then funny enough, I was in Sweden playing. So I was very far from home. And that's when I started to find myself again. So I feel like this was my era of coming out of that angsty emo college era for me. And was really loving football for the first time since I was a kid.
Wow.
Playing in the freezing
I didn't know
cold.
this about you.
Really?
I didn't realize that during this time you were starting to find your love of the game again.
Oh, yeah. I feel like just because I went to college close to home, it was the same old thing. My family came to every game. I just wanted to be the best. I had to score. I couldn't sleep. It was awful. And then I moved to Gothenburg, Sweden. And finally, no one could watch me.
Yes.
So I was free.
Yeah.
And I gave up the idea that I could play for the national team, actually, because in my mind and at the time, playing in Europe meant disappearing. There wasn't the same visibility. So I was like, you know what? No one's going to even see if I play. I'm over it. I can't make it. I got passed because at the time, if you didn't make it in your college age, the league had folded. So you were just a random player out there.
Oh, yeah. Believe me, I know. I was a random player
There
out
was
there.
nowhere to develop or be seen. So I was just I'm going to do something for me. Go to Sweden. Forget the national team, kind of forgot my family a little bit, even though they still came 25 million times.
They really did.
And then I started playing well again. And then Pia was the coach.
Oh, yes.
And so she actually lived in Sweden. So I don't know how I didn't put that together.
Yeah. It's nice you forgot because it allowed you to play free. And I feel like I had a bit of the same experience when I went to Sweden. I was like, no one knows me here. Nobody knows anything about me. There's absolutely zero expectations of who I should be as a soccer player or as a person. I started to explore parts of myself that I didn't allow myself in the United States. It was really, truly one of the most free feeling times that I've ever had in my life.
I agree. Is a blank slate. And at that age, like in your 20s, like I feel like that's when you're just starting to like get out of like you have to be what everyone wants you to be. And so to leave people behind and leave places and spaces and feelings behind and just be like, all right, what do I do here? It gives you a little bit of intentionality in exploring who you want to be. So that's where I was. And then I called it the scenic route to the U.S. Women's National Team because, you know, I felt like you were already in the pool. You had already like been a part of the team, the youth programs. Like I was not. So it felt for me like I was on the outside looking into the national team until 2012. And April of 2012, I got the call that I was invited into camp. And I think the Olympics are in like July, and I got my first call up ever. Well, I was going to say June, but the World Cup's June. The Olympics start July. So it was like 3 months before the Olympics were going to happen, and everyone else had been fighting for their spots and training and learning systems and set pieces.
Who is this girl? Who does she think she is?
And I had never even played on a youth national team with y'all. And I'm like, I call my coach and he goes, you can't go. It's not during a FIFA window. And I cried my eyes out overnight. And then they allowed me to go for 6 days. And you guys were basically in residency.
Yeah, I remember this. It was one of the craziest experiences. Being 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off. The amount of things that I know about these people is absurd.
It's not right. It's a club team without a home.
Yeah, totally.
Without like a place to go home to. And I was just not a part of that. And then I popped in, missed the beep test, did 6 days of camp in Florida, and it was freezing cold in Sweden. And I just remember we were staying at this hotel where there was like, you ate outside on a veranda and the fruit looked so big and American, you know? And like, just like, everything was like tropical. And it was like, the national team is the best thing in the whole world. And also I had a lot of freedom because there was no chance I could make it. Like in my mind, right? It's like everyone else has been here.
What a way to pop in.
Yeah. I was like, I'm free. They're just here to make everyone else anxious. And then I left. And then was named. And then you guys were in camp for all of May. And then they named me as an alternate, and I missed the entire May camp. And I got called in Sweden, and they were like, you're going.
You know what? I totally forgot about this part, and you're so right. What an incredible way to just be like, here I am, and here I am to stay. Because you did. You stayed throughout the rest of your career.
I basically never missed a camp.
You didn't. But I do think we have to like tell our listeners and viewers really quick, the Olympics are really interesting. Like, you get an 18-player roster, and then there's these 4 extra players that are called alternates. That was us. Typically, you bring 4, 1 forward, 1 midfielder, 1 defender, 1 goalkeeper, in case somebody on the main roster gets hurt, right? And then you can kind of like bring that player in. So we were on the team, but not on the team.
That's why I said the low days.
Yep, not all. So how did you find out that you weren't on the team? Do you remember that call?
Yes. I think because I had 6 days of U.S. Women's National Team camp in my life, I really didn't hear I wasn't on the team.
Yeah.
I really heard, you get to go to the Olympics? And I was like, no way. And then I was also like, well, whose spot did I take? Because that person's going to kill me.
But not till August.
Yeah, and it was a super bizarre and hard time. And also awesome.
Yeah.
Because, one, I got in the best shape of my life because Dawn Scott killed us every single day because the rest of the team had to be fresh to play, but we didn't.
Yeah.
So we played like 2v2 and 1v1 and ran until we were like so fit. Like my lean muscle mass at that time was like peak.
That was my core memory of being an alternate, was that we would show up before the team got there. At practice, we would do our own practices of like plyos, 1v1s, 2v2s. Then we would be Japan or Brazil or England or Canada for the main group who would come in after us, and we would play against them. So we'd have then 2 practices. Then we would go back to our random hotel that wasn't the same hotel as the players, and we would do a lift And on top of all that, we weren't allowed to get treatment. I will never.
This sounds like a lawsuit.
Remember, I will never forget that ever, ever, ever being sat down and be like, this treatment room, it is not for you. And I was like, heard.
Let the players. Like, what are we? We're not players.
I know.
Also, do you remember when I played center back against Sydney Leroux?
No, but do tell the story.
Well, I know it was just you said like we were the other team.
Yeah.
And I was the last alternate, right? I was the last person. They'd never even seen me play. And like, so we just had to go and like ran. And I don't know why they didn't put a coach at center back, but maybe we were just like a back four or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe.
And I had to play center back. And in my mind, this is my second ever camp of my life. And now I'm playing center back and I'm the world's
like,
worst.
I will do anything.
Yeah, and of course I would.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought it was fun because I was like, wow, you get so much more time on the ball. And you get to see all the players, like, and the goal.
Oh, there's nobody on my back?
This is nice. No one can go behind me.
Mm-hmm. Well, if
Yeah.
they do, you're really screwed, by the way. If
Yeah.
somebody's behind you, like you're in big trouble.
Yeah, I also will say I remember that we got to have way more fun than everybody. We were banished from the Olympic Village, so it wasn't that we were like out and about, but we, you know, the Friends and Family program was there, so we had people there. We got to experience the Olympics because in the Olympics, everyone times out at different parts of the tournament. So there's a lot of athletes there that are just having fun.
Yeah.
And because we didn't have the stress of playing, like we actually got to like indulge and like do things and like go to the houses and shop
indulge
and
we did.
And we had fun.
Maybe a little too much fun.
It was a different time of women's football. Like the kids are so serious now, but I will say you and I, we had a good time early days.
Had a good time. Honestly, it's one of the reasons why Becky Sauerbrun's partner Zola, like he was there and all the friends and family. But that's one of the reasons why Zola and I became such great friends was because of those Olympics. And like, we're still friends. I send them Christmas cards, you know, like it was a really, really different time. And it just felt like it was a low time because we were tired AF, but also it kind of felt like college. Like we were staying in these dorm rooms together and just like working hard, playing hard, partying hard.
Yeah. And like the actual, oh my gosh, this was an amazing thing for our careers was that like there's nothing that can prepare you for a world tournament but a world tournament. And we actually got to prepare like in the best way possible.
But even harder.
Exactly. Like I never worked harder than when I was an alternate in my entire
100%.
life. And I got to see the stress of the players. I got to be at those meals. So you get to like really live it. So then I feel like the first time the next tournament we played in was 2015.
Yep.
And we were like much more weathered and
that's a
resilient
great
and ready
word.
because, especially for me, because I didn't do a youth like World Cup. So that was it. That was the exposure that I got. And I know for a fact it helped me a lot in my career.
One thing that was really kind of a seminal moment for me was when we were at Old Trafford and we're standing there in the stands right next to each other watching the game against Canada. And it's one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the U.S. women's national team. Do you remember this game? And I remember there standing watching and thinking to myself, I am so close to being part of this. I want so badly to be a part of this.
Yeah.
I have to do something different. I need to be different. I need to stand out in a way that all of these other players don't stand out. And that's one of the reasons that I went to Sweden. That's something that like in my mind, hey, I need to do this. For me, I need to come back to the United States a totally different player. Did you have a moment like that where it was like, this is a defining moment for me and it shaped me?
Yes, I think that the whole tournament was sort of that for me because, you know, before you're on the team, it's like this blurry dream, but like the dream's like perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like you score every game and you're the best player and like you win the Ballon d'Or your first year, right? Like that's the dream, right? And then I think I got to see it. And I don't know if you sort of felt that, but 2012 from the inside looked like the same dream. It looked like how I imagined it would be. And because I wasn't playing, like I have like memories of like going to get my nails done with the girls and then being all concerned because like their nails were going to be like so visible, and just like not even having an understanding of what it would mean to like have even like a fanship, like of people who care what my nails look like, and just like feeling so close. But it filled me with hope. I think because I came from a different angle where for me, the thing that got me there was like not caring anymore. And then I was there and I was so close. And I think when I went to that Olympics, I was like, I'm on this team. Like, I'm going to be on this team. I've done it. And I think the burden, the weight of the badge didn't hit me until I made a roster. Till I scored my first goal and I looked up and I was like, now I have to do this every single game for the rest of my life or I'm a failure.
Wow.
Yeah. You know
that
me.
is a quick switch. Yeah, I do know you.
I'm a little dramatic.
This is why you're always doing cold plunges in yoga.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to reset.
Yeah.
You have to do 100 of those things because you have one of those big moments.
Yeah, exactly. I really have a hard time regulating, but I've made it. I've made it out to I don't have to score.
I know.
And I don't have to regulate as hard.
I know. It's incredible. Like trying out these new like foods and doing stuff that I've never done before. I'm like, wait, this is what everyone's been doing? This is kind of nice. But I do want to get to that later.
Okay,
so
okay. That's another era.
That's a different era. We'll get to that era.
Okay.
I do want to mention that after the Olympics, we both went to Sweden.
Yeah.
Like I played for Tyresö and you were still in Gothenburg. And then you signed with Tyresö the next year. And I'm not saying that right. So please, Swedish people, don't,
I thought you were going to ask me.
No, never. I would never put you on the spot like that. But it was such an interesting time. And we actually did live together in what was affectionately known as the House of Happiness.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the House of Happiness.
Do you have a favorite moment of us being in that space together?
So many.
Oh my God, me too. I immediately wrote down like 4 or 5.
You made hummus.
I knew it. I was so happy you brought this up.
I ate all of your hummus every time. And I try to make hummus still to this day by myself, and it's never like yours.
Okay, but I will say we made hummus.
Yeah.
I will, like...
I did.
You were part of it.
I sued. But, like, it was... You were good.
Okay, I appreciate that. But do you remember how garlicky we made it?
Yes.
And we, like, made it so garlic... And it was really good.
That
like,
I would sweat at practice and garlic would come out of my pores, and people were like...
But do you remember some of our teammates actually said... Does it smell like garlic? And we looked at we were like...
We were just giant cloves of garlic in Sweden.
I will never forget that. And then one other thing that I wrote down, I don't know if you remember this, but we would literally binge watch Game of Thrones together.
Oh, see, that's just like quality coming of age time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was it. We played together at Magic Jack, but that's when we became friends.
Yeah.
Like, I have a memory. I want to say I forgot my jersey at home for a game, which everyone just paused and realized I had to bring my own kit to a game. That feels wrong. And I'm pretty sure, like, I couldn't drive stick shift as well as you, and you, like, raced home and got my jersey for me.
Did I?
Yeah, and it was, like, a scary thing because I don't think you were that good on stick either.
No, I had just learned. You know how I learned, actually? This is kind of funny. You weren't here at the time yet. So it was when I was on Tyresö and you were still in Gothenburg. And I was injured for some reason, and I wasn't called into the U.S. team because of that. And so everybody went on their FIFA dates. So like Vera Boketa and like Line Rudda-Kensen, who were my roommates at the time, they left. And I was alone in the House of Happiness. And if I wanted to go to practice, I had to drive.
Oh my gosh.
So I literally just had to learn one Thursday because I had to go to practice. So I just like went for it. I have no idea how I made it there, but I made it there. And somehow my teammates all had found out that I was driving stick for like the second or third time. And they like lined up at the entrance and all clapped on my way in.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Also,
it was pretty fun.
I have this theory that like you only do things when you have to. And that's like in the notch of like you just had to, so you just did it.
Yeah. But this seems like a whole nother episode that we need to do some other time.
Also very dangerous.
Yes.
Because it was probably
correct.
snowing.
Oh, 100%. I shouldn't have been doing that. I don't know how I made it up any hills. I think it was the most stressed I've ever been in my life. And that's on, like, including the World Cup that I've played in, including everything.
Okay, but at the end of your life, like, you're going to want to look back and be like, I just learned on my own how to drive a stick shift on a ice frozen street in Sweden by myself.
I
Like,
can do
that's
anything.
the kind of life I want to live.
I can literally do anything. That's what I think in these moments. I don't know where it comes from, but
Good for you.
yeah, thank you. Yeah. It's where our egos differ.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Okay, I'm going to move us along to our next era because it's a big one and we got to talk about it.
The countdown to 2026 is on, and every moment matters. Whether you're at home or on the pitch, preparation is everything. From clean kits to fresh confidence and bold style, Henkel's family of brands is there, behind every routine that keeps life running smoothly. Because great performances don't just happen on the pitch, they start at home. Brought to you by Henkel and its family of brands, including Persil laundry detergent, Got2b hair care products, Dial soap, and Loctite adhesives. Proud partners of U.S. Soccer.
Next era. We're on top of the world era. It's 2015. We're in Canada. We have just won the World Cup for the first time since 1999, which I don't know about you, but it was basically the most pivotal moment in my childhood because I'm like, I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to do when I grow up.
And then you did.
And then we did.
Yeah, we did.
And it was one of the coolest moments in the whole world. When you look back at that, I feel like our lives totally changed overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak about that?
Yes. I think in a lot of ways, 2015 was like such an intense and extreme experience. World championships are winning is. And I think we had very different emotional experiences through that tournament. You played such a huge role in that team. I was very disappointed through times in that tournament of the role that I was playing. But I think the lesson and the emotion that I got out of this was how much more important a team is than an individual. I went into that tournament as a goal scorer, as a number 9, and as a person that saw all my value through my own individual contribution on a team that is tracked with data. That's the number 9 role more than anyone. It's like, how many times did you put the ball in the back of the net, even if you sneezed and it went in, and it counts as your tally, like you did your job.
Yeah, counts.
And I went into that tournament feeling like I'm going to have this experience. And I left the tournament saying, we won the World Cup. And it was a really, really important in my career for me to understand that. Sports finally had gotten so big that it wasn't about me anymore. And, the feeling that I had was going into 2015, I walked around town, and unless I was in my hometown of Palos Verdes, nobody would possibly know my name. And when we landed, we went to LA.
Yeah, first.
So my own hometown. And I looked out and for years, I wouldn't be able to walk on the street without people knowing that I was a part of that team.
Yeah.
And that is also has its perks and its pitfalls.
Yes.
And it wasn't my expectation because the tournament didn't look like I thought it would for myself personally. But the world opened up for us. How did our lives change? For 4 months, we were rock stars. I went to Vegas and I hung out with Neymar.
But wait, you hung out with Neymar before that.
In the first era.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. We do have to talk about this real quick. Kristen and I met Neymar and Marcello at the Olympics because they were playing for Brazil, and we were in the same hotel for whatever random reason. And we were playing ping pong because we played every night together. And Neymar and Marcello saw that we were playing, and they're like, can we play with you? In obviously very broken English because I don't think they were like very good at English at that point. And we were like, yes. So you had Neymar on your team and I had Marcello. And you guys kicked our ass. And I still blame Marcello to this day. So.
And all I remember is how sweaty I was.
Oh, 100%. And then we took a picture afterwards, and it's one of the worst I've ever looked in.
Ever.
Yeah.
It was awful, but it was also peak
It was
Olympic
peak.
moment.
Yes, it was good. I'm telling you, the highs and the lows in that era.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Continue.
Oh, yeah. No, we hung out with Neymar in Vegas. Everyone went to the Taylor Swift concert, went on tour. Did you do that?
Correct.
Did you go on stage?
Yes.
I didn't. I was with Neymar. I was busy.
Oh, well, excuse me.
I don't know. I feel like most people would take T Swift at this point.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah. But I
correct.
didn't. So
Yeah.
I made the wrong choice.
We know.
But it was, it was 2015. So.
Yeah.
Neymar was so cute then. Anyway.
No comment. We're continuing.
Yeah, so like our worlds cracked open and we all had to learn how to live in the public eye and learned, what it means to have your dreams come true and like how fulfilling and how unfulfilling that is and how extreme it is and how emotional it is. And almost like the thing that I remember is like being in Vancouver and our families being like a couple hotels over and not being able to get to them because we couldn't leave the hotel. So we were like sneaking around the streets of Canada, like trying to see our own families and like how disparate that felt from my whole life.
Yeah.
Where like I was just free to move around the world and do what I wanted. And like the bigger I got, the more I needed my family. Like the more I just wanted to run through the back alleys to like get to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like for me, it was really hard to integrate what winning meant. Like, I have more memories of, like, the silly, funny, crazy things that happened after and around it. And it, like, winning something at that magnitude, it still is, like, something I have to, like, integrate over my life. It's, like, something I say, like, I won the World Cup, but it's, like, it's hard to actually process what that means.
Agreed, because it was, like, your everything at one point. And I personally have a hard time with the gap between being the best in the world and being some of the most famous people in the world for like the 4 months after that and the amount of money that we were paid. I had this like, what is it called? Like this gap. I'm going to have to think about that. I'm going to have to go back to my vocabulary someday and just like, but anyways, there was this gap for me that I couldn't bridge where we were the best in the world. We were so recognizable and famous. We were doing all of these things that like much more affluent people were doing. And that just wasn't meshing with my life. I'm still going back and living with my parents on the downtime. And that was like a really hard thing for my mind to bridge. And I had such a hard time figuring out how to navigate that new life. I don't think I did a good job of it. I think you and Pino and like other people did a much better job of it than me. And then there's me and Becky Sauerbrunn who are just like, we'll just, go to Portland and play soccer. So it was really interesting. But it does make me curious, if now that you have all of this experience and knowledge and you've gone through it, if you're looking back, what kind of advice would you give young Kling and CP?
It was a time, I think, where that polarity, that, like, duality.
Oh, you couldn't have said that earlier for me?
That, like, duality of experiences.
Yes, that's exactly the word I wanted. Thank you.
You're welcome. Was actually inspiration for us. And we both, you and I in particular, and probably more so than anyone else on the team, saw the opportunity as like business people. And I think that's its purpose. Like I don't think I would give advice for you to do it different. I think you did it right. You felt it. You didn't understand it. And it inspired you to try to create change. And not being able to fly first class, have security, but being like living like someone who does, it caused a problem that needed a solution. And the solution was better pay for female athletes, better pay for the USWNT national team.
Yeah.
And I think that's what actually inspired and launched our whole equal pay campaign, starting Bree. All the things that we said, hey, like, let's bet on ourselves. Because the truth was the money was there. We just weren't getting a piece of it.
Correct.
And so we saw this infrastructure and we're like, this isn't right. And we set out to at least course correct it a little bit. And
Ended up course correcting a lot more than we thought.
a lot of it. And, you know, now if I look back and say, what's the coolest thing I did in my soccer career? It has nothing to do with soccer.
I love that. Honestly, that's really well put. And I'm glad you kind of bridged the gap for me, the duality of it. Because it was really hard for me to put words to it when I was that age. I think now I'm able to do that. But when I was that young, we were only like 25, 26 years old, which seems like a lifetime ago. And it was really hard to think about, okay, well, what does this feel like? And how can I make a different environment to make it feel better? And we did that.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, and that sometimes that discomfort is required.
Well, I think that all the time about life. It doesn't mean I like going through those moments, Christen. But yeah, I think before the biggest breakthroughs, it's always preceded by some of the biggest struggles. And that's something that is hard to swallow. But it's life. And we learned to do what we needed to do to be able to. And I think one of the coolest parts about it was coming together and using not just our voices, but all the voices to create.
And I
Tide
just
of change.
can't help but look at the coincidence that's not a coincidence of the group of personalities that we had on that team and how perfect it was to go on and change the game. Like, I look at teams before, teams after, and I'm like, this was insane that it just happened, that all of these people were good enough to play soccer at the highest level, but they were the right people for that moment. Like, that, it gives me the chills actually to think about it, because if one person had been different, it like might not have worked out the
happened,
way
yeah.
it did.
Now I think that brings us to our last era that we have to talk about. Our final era, not in our lives, but in our careers. And I like to call it our permanent offseason era.
Oh, the permanent offseason era.
Yeah.
The current era.
Yeah, the current era. So we are sitting here in a podcast studio. We're talking about your career and our time together and all of the memories that we have made, and now we're making a new one. And I want to know, how does it feel to be here discussing all of this lore, this history of yours and of our time together?
I think it's really important. I talk a lot these days about integration because I just realize how much of our life we just let us hit us at the skin and we never digest it. But I think sitting here with you, having this conversation is a part of the processing and the understanding that it's over, because so much for me is just like, I'm so disciplined and regimented that I don't even realize what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I just do what I know. So this is healing me. So thank you.
Oh, I love that.
It's actually, I consider today day 4 of the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Because after my season ended, it was off season.
Yeah.
It wasn't permanent off season. Everyone else was off too.
Yeah.
So someone would be like, oh, how's it be different? I'm like, it's the same as off season. Like,
But then January 19th came rolling
Exactly.
around.
And I saw all the pictures and I was like, no, I want to be in preseason. This isn't fair.
Did you really?
Yeah, really sad.
Oh, wow. I'm actually a little bit shocked by that.
I loved practicing.
I know you did.
And I loved practicing last year so much.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So I took a 5-week radical sabbatical,
Love
which
it.
just happened to be over Christmas, my birthday, New Year, so everyone did. But it was a little extended, and I didn't do any work with Ree. Didn't push my body physically, just said like nothingness. And it ended on Tuesday. And I got on my bike. And I biked from my house to my office, which is here.
Yep.
And I joined a gym, which is next door, and it's amazing. And I went over and I did a little workout. I did the Stairmaster.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm on the Stairmaster. Like, this is like the next chapter.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, the rest of my life has just begun.
Wow.
And I think I characterize it by control. I'm just shocked that I get to like do what I want.
I know, believe me. I've gone a little bit wild, I have to say, like just trying new things. And at the beginning, it was really hard because I was also very regimented and very focused and like would control my diet and the intake of like all of these things because of soccer, right? Like no alcohol, eating vegan, doing all this stuff. And then one day Ingrid was like, but why can't we go out? And I said, actually, I don't know. There's no reason why we can't go out. We can go out. We can eat out. We can have a drink. We can do whatever we want to do. And that really was a breakthrough moment for me. So I feel like you're going to have a lot of these coming because...
Okay, that reminds me of Tobin. One day I was like, you know, you can go visit your family.
You're like, I need some space, but I don't want to say I need some space.
But it was like she forgot that she could choose to go see her family.
Yeah.
Like, at any point. Like, something went, and like, she needed to see someone, and she's like, I feel so far away. Like, I'm like, I know, but nothing is keeping you here anymore.
They have these things called airplanes.
I know. And she just couldn't, like, understand the concept of, like, being free.
Right.
And the same thing happened to me recently where I was like, I'm trying to learn how to surf. How am I going to integrate this? And Tobin's like, it's called the weekend. And I was like, no,
Whoa.
you're messing with me. 2 days a week.
Yeah.
That I do whatever I want all day.
Yeah, we've never had that
That
before.
doesn't make any sense.
It does not compute for people who haven't been a professional athlete. They're like, wait, we always get 2, maybe 3, sometimes 4.
Oh my gosh, no.
And we're like, we've never gotten 4 days off in a row.
It's usually 1, and I'm so tired that I'm horizontal.
Yeah.
So, like, going surfing on my day off, like, no. Like, going surfing on the weekend, yeah. That makes sense.
Weekend warrior, Christen Press.
Weekend warrior, I can't wait.
And I'm really excited to hear about more of these, like, events or, like, milestones happening because they keep hitting you in the face, and I'll tell you that. And it's been over almost a year for me, and they just keep coming.
Oh, you know, I sometimes dream that I am going down to Mexico and I'm still playing. Mm-hmm. And I have like
we have talked about this.
Yeah,
Cancun,
no, but I like dream that it's real. Mm-hmm. And like my biggest anxiety for retiring was health insurance. I think I also told you this. Yeah. And in my dream I'm like, they're gonna take my health insurance because I signed something that said I would never play professionally again to get continued health insurance. You know, and I'm like, my health insurance. I'm in Mexico. I have no insurance. That's my nightmare.
Oh my God, is it recurring?
A couple times, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But let's end here. Of all the things that you've done in your career, you've played a long time. You've gone to 2 or 2.5 Olympics, 2 World Cups. You've done, you know, the NWSL, the Damallsvenskan. We've gone to the Champions League final. One of the best games that we've ever played in, by the way. One of my most favorite games, and it was a loss.
Wow.
I know. What are you most proud of?
I always think to the moments where I felt like I was failing and continued anyway. The one that comes to mind with you is after the 2016 Olympics in Brazil when I missed that penalty, skied it over the bar.
I remember.
And then I went into hiding. And you actually texted me and said, you should get back on social media because the fans created a Dogs for Christen hashtag.
Oh,
and you were like, just go on for half a day.
I'm like kind of tearing up a little bit.
You were the one who told me that. And, you know, as an athlete, your entire worth is like based on success. And that was a moment where I was like, wait a second, these people actually like care about me. Yeah. Not all of them and not all the time.
And like in a different way, not because you are a soccer player, but I think what's interesting about the fandom is how they love you because of how much joy you bring them, not because of like what you do.
Yeah.
It's because of like how you bring joy into their life, and that feels so cool.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's exactly what it was. Like, it's a moment that I like treasure actually, because it was when I started to transform my understanding of what an athlete is and relationship with fans, not like performing for fans. And I remember that as a low point in my career. Like, you know, when you lose your starting spot, when you don't make a roster, like you think this is it. But like actually I was there, I was on the team, I was in the game, and I blew it. Like I lost a penalty shootout by shooting the ball over the net. Like that's like, you don't even worry that that's going to happen. It's like so bad. And then like I had to go back to camp.
Yeah.
I had to get back online. And like those are like, that makes me proud. And just showing up, the sun rising the next day, just getting through that. It's what made me who I am today. It's not a linear path for anybody. And I'm dramatic, so I think my life the whole time it's happening is the worst thing in the world that's possibly happening to anybody. But those low moments are what bring me an immense amount of gratitude to what the game gives me, because it's hard, it's harsh, and it cultivated a resilience and a hope and a joy in me for the moments that I wasn't in mourning and hiding. Like my ground zero now is like, I'm so happy because yesterday I didn't miss a penalty.
Yes, I'm crushing it today.
Today's a good day. I didn't miss a penalty. But yeah, I think that's one of my treasured memories.
I wonder if it does cultivate a bit of gratitude in your life as well. And I know that sounds outrageous, but I was number 6. Did you know that? I was the next taker.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, it ended and I didn't even get to be a part of it.
Wow.
And so I wonder if there is any point in your career where you were thinking, I would have rather stepped up there and missed than never taken a shot at all.
You know, and I actually forgot the second half of my most proud story. You know, I took a penalty in the next Olympics in a shootout and made it.
I remember.
And you
I
know,
was like, yes!
And you know, it was like one of those ones where like my knee hit the ball and then my whole leg hit the ball and it
rolled
like
all the way down,
down.
and then it looped, and then it bounced over the goalkeeper.
And it was so slow. And every single person that ever cared about me, their breath was held as the ball like rotated slowly to the goal.
Nike.
And I was so scared. And I kicked it in. And I was so relieved. But of course I am so proud that I stepped up and missed. And it wasn't a choice. Like someone said my name, right? But like it is a choice. Like you step up, and to be brave enough to try is like, you know, the greatest thing in the world. So it does. It every one of those moments, like, I don't know, it sets you up for your like comeback story. It teaches you, it's like makes the rebound even better. And that makes me very grateful. I even would say if I could go back and rewrite it, I don't think I would.
Wow.
Oh, but we could have had another medal.
I could have had an Olympic medal.
Yeah.
You don't have one either, actually.
I have a bronze medal.
That's right.
My bronze medal is like 3 times the size of my World Cup medal. Can you believe that?
Well, I mean, I've seen the World Cup medals, and they are not very big.
Of course you've seen them.
They're like,
You have one.
I'm like, wow.
Did you lose yours?
Of course not, Kristen.
It fits in
I
my
treasure
front
it.
pocket.
Yeah, it does. I remember, last thing, and then I'll let you go, but I remember seeing Kelly O'Hara, who was by far one of the most outrageous people after we won the World Cup in 2015. Like, fact check me.
Truth.
Thank you. And she was insane on the floats at the ticker tape parade, like having so much fun. And I remember she had her medal in her pocket. And it was just in her pocket, and the ribbon was just like floating out the side. And I was like, you need a lesbian carabiner. Like, get it together, girl.
My gosh. It was probably in the small pocket. Yeah. In front of the pocket, you know, because that's the size of the medal.
I'm glad they've upgraded the trophy. You know, it looks much better now.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kristen, this has been so fun. Thank you so much. I love when we get to reconnect, and I'm so happy we get to celebrate you and your amazing career.
It was a joy, Kling. Dun-dun-dun.
Crushed it!
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? And O'Reilly Auto Parts is right around the corner. O'Reilly Auto Parts can help take the guesswork out of your vehicle's check engine, ABS, or maintenance light with O'Reilly Veriscan, a free service that only takes a couple of minutes to complete. You'll receive a free, easy-to-read report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans that have been verified by ASE-certified master technicians. O'Reilly Veriscan can identify the most likely problem with just one scan. The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts can then recommend the parts and tools that you need to do the repair right the first time. And if you're not comfortable doing the repair yourself, they can recommend a local shop for you. Don't ignore check engine, ABS, or maintenance light. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today, a free service exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts. That was awesome stuff, Kling. Thank you so much for doing that. And a long interview with someone who you know very well in Christen Press. Was there anything that surprised you maybe while you were sitting there listening?
Yeah, I actually teared up a little bit at one part. Christen was discussing how in the 2016 Olympics in Rio, we went to the quarterfinals. We played Sweden. It's this infamous game that everybody remembers. But what maybe people aren't thinking about is that Christen was actually the number 5 PK taker for our team. And if she made it, we would have continued on with more PKs. And I was number 6. But she missed. And it was kind of a defining moment in her career. She went into this cocoon, was super sad. It really crushed her. And one of the things that really helped her get out of that was this hashtag on Twitter at the time called Dogs for Christen. And I don't even remember this. Her bringing this up sparked the memory in me. I was like, oh, I remember that now, but I would have never thought of that about myself. And it was all of the fans coming together and just posting pictures of their dogs for Christen to cheer her up, to make her feel better, to have her kind of get to a more positive place. And I was on Twitter for whatever reason and just randomly came across it, and it was so heartwarming. I was like, Christen, come out of your social media bubble. Nobody is like piling on. Everybody is supporting you. Please go look at this hashtag. It's one of the most heartwarming and beautiful things that I've ever seen on the internet. And I was just shocked because I didn't know that had such a big impact on her and allowing her to come out of that dark place that she was in. So that was really wonderful to hear. And I didn't even realize that that part of our history shows up so big in her mind.
Yeah. It is wild, the sport where it's like 90 minutes, 30 plus games a year, all this flow, and it's a single moment that so many things can come down to. And obviously we all feel very fortunate that Christen came out of that and is the player that she was, right? Like we talked about it as she and Tobin retired, of the joy of watching them play was really, really special. And obviously being a massive part of a ton of success with the teams. Were you guys ready to lace it back up after finishing the interview?
No, that's hilarious. Absolutely not. I keep trying to trick you
into that.
Yeah, you're hilarious. I explained this to Matt the other day, and okay, this is going off topic, but we have to go into it actually, David. Do you have like a hobby or like do puzzles or something that you've become like pretty good at?
Yes, sort of.
Okay, so like say for instance,
I'm really good at Rummy Cube.
Okay, great. So Rummy Cube. So like, have you ever tried to play beginners at Rummy Cube? It's like really not that fun because you win every time and it's just like so easy and there's no challenge.
Yeah.
That is what it's like to try and play rec soccer and lace it up again. It's just like the point for me was that playing at such a fast and high level stimulated my mind and my body in a way that nothing else could. And soccer feels like it's underwater when you're not playing at that level.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm just saying, I didn't say rec. I mean, Racing Louisville could be looking for a left back.
Oh, you're hilarious.
San Diego
Absolutely
could
not.
be. Okay.
Listen, David, I'm just lacing up for ref camp, and that's it.
I love that, and I love to hear that. Sponsored by Henkel, winning starts long before kickoff. Henkel and its family of brands, including Persil laundry detergent, Got2b hairstyling products, Dial soap, and Loctite adhesives help U.S. soccer fans and players prepare for every moment. Kling, how were you first inspired at home to pursue your soccer dreams and play at the fastest, highest level before you went underwater?
I was first inspired to pursue my soccer dreams by my mom and dad just giving me free rein to try whatever I want to try and allowing me to dream. And I credit both of them, but truly, when I think back, my dad took a bigger role in that. Not necessarily because he was like saying that more than my mom, but it means more coming from a dad saying that to a young girl growing up in the 90s, in the early aughts, telling her that she could be anything that she wanted to be as long as she worked hard enough and that she was resilient. And that has really stuck with me my entire life, like having that belief, having that idea of what I could be. I never thought there was a glass ceiling growing up because I didn't realize that there was until I got to a much older age and realized that there is. But having that kind of belief from your mom and especially a dad and those type of early years where it wasn't it was kind of looked down upon for women to have big dreams, to have ambition, to want to be the best in the world. But they said that I could be the best in the world no matter what area, as long as I worked hard enough and was resilient. And I really took that to heart. I don't know if that was necessarily true, but it did work out and it did allow me to pursue my soccer dreams, and it fulfilled them in the most wild ways, this journey that I could have never expected. And it truly was something, looking back, that I am most grateful for.
Kling, thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for going back into that experience for you. Is there a one moment memory? Like, is there because I think all of us have this with our childhoods, and my parents are actually visiting me right now, and it's like, as you're talking to them, it sparks these one moment memories of like, and they don't even remember them, right? Of like, you said this to this person and it always stuck with me. Do you have that one where your dad, whether it was training after a game at dinner one night, where it was like, he said it in a way in which that was the thing that you held on to?
No, because he said it so much. Like, it wasn't a one-time thing.
Okay,
it was literally like all the time. And I think that's why it stuck so hard.
Yeah.
But there is one memory that kind of sticks out. He would just play in the backyard with me and my brother all the time. We would play soccer, we would play softball, we would throw football. And one day we were throwing football, and we were doing that thing where you got to keep your feet within the, your two toes within the line.
You got to drag the toes on the fake line.
Exactly, drag the toes. So he's throwing it just over the line, and I'm like diving to get it and keeping my toes in. And it's just always stuck with me because it feels like it's always been presented as this thing that dads do with their sons. But that never mattered to him. He always thought, if you're good enough, if you want to play, if it's fun for you, let's do it. And that kind of attitude really shaped how I moved through the world.
Did you find, as you got into the national team and met the other players who were able to achieve and get into a space like you, similar backgrounds of that's where they found that inspiration? Yeah.
I don't know if it came from their parents or whatever, because I'm not sure we ever were like, where did you realize that you could achieve your dreams? Was it family? But I know that a lot of them were quote unquote tomboys growing up and were always the kids that were kind of, I don't want to say misfits, but like there is a type of feeling of being a misfit when you're really, really good at something and people kind of make you feel other because of you being really good at something. Yeah. And I think we all kind of went through that and did not let it affect us, did not let it get to our heads, did not let it steer us from this path that we were on. We were just so single-minded about what we wanted to be.
Single-mindedness with true intent for any child is unique. So that
Yes.
alone makes you stand out. And then, as you were saying,
Exactly.
a lot of times in this time period, 80s, 90s, it was unique as well for a woman to be having that drive and passion to be purely the best athlete on the planet. And we are all really lucky for it because we got a couple stars on a crest. We've got some incredible heroes that we're all huge fans of. And it changed the landscape for the next generation. It feels like now there's a lot of people out there who don't need to be told it by their family because they can see it. And they can say, I want to be the next Meghan Klingenberg. I want to be the next Kristen Press. I want to be the next Alex Morgan. And that gives that opportunity, I think, for a lot of young people, which for you wasn't obvious and therefore had to be sort of drilled into you from people in your environment and in your area. Are we ready to move on to our last topic of the show? Which is Ask the Pros.
Let's do it. And I just want to say that was some really great insight. And I really appreciate how you framed that with how they get to see it. And that's different. And that's pretty cool.
It is very, very cool. I feel like every week when we listen to the show, we get to experience these things. And that's where I'm thinking about it while a lot of the interviews you've sat in about where we are now versus the upbringing of a lot of people and what they wanted to be. And now the different landscape that a lot of young people go into, which ties in perfectly to my O'Reilly part to Ask the Pros question here. This is the part where you get to ask myself, Ali Bedoya, or Kling a question. And mine is from Amanda in Maryland, who said, what do you think of the expansion of the grassroots licensing path and its effect on the American soccer sphere? To me, this is the next frontier. And this is where so much improvement is coming, which is soccer has been normalized as a sport to play. And being a high-level soccer player has been normalized in the United States. And the pathways to getting there have changed a lot. But the rest of the landscape is where I think we are pushing. And that's where I think 2026 is going to be really, really special to catch up. And a big one of them is knowledgeable soccer adults to help kids become high-level soccer players. And not everyone will be professional. And that's where, to me, college soccer is massive. Because having college soccer alumni come back into their communities and just be parent coaches, but having played at a high level and understanding the sport at a high level. And that's where the expansion of the access to coaching is massive. So U.S. Soccer has made a lot more available online, a lot more available for free, so people can access it on their own time. And then they can start to give kids the tools to love the game and be passionate about the game and understand it. And I think understanding it at a high level is what really sparks the interest for people who are going to have soccer in their life for a long time. And so I think that's one of the great hurdles that we are moving towards. And we have talked with a couple people who are working in the U.S. Soccer Federation to help us jump that hurdle. And I just think the interest in 2026, that's where we're going to see it. It's not future players who thought, oh, I could never play soccer and now that's what I want to do. It's people who draw an interest in this and they become youth soccer coaches in their community, or at the businesses they work, they say, should we be marketing at soccer games? And then that brings more money into the sport. There's all these knock-on effects that I think are going to be massive. And I think having more people who are knowledgeable about the game across communities in the US is the biggest key. And I think the access to entry-level coaching courses and programs and all of that has been really, really big with that. Kling, we're on to you, though. Becky in New Jersey says, if you were playing in this summer's World Cup, which city would you like to start in? And unfortunately, Pittsburgh is not an option.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm going off the rails. I would definitely say Pittsburgh.
Was that really what you were going to say?
Yes. So thanks for killing it for me, bud. Absolutely outrageous.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I do think I would want to choose a city that just has such great NWSL or MLS support. So think Seattle or Atlanta, even LA. I think that those cities are going to show up really big. Yeah. They have some incredible American outlaw chapters. And I just feel like it's going to be such a blast. But I do want to say, I think that playing in New York is just a very different experience than maybe any other place in the world. To me, it's one of the greatest cities on this globe, not just in this country. And it's just got such great like energy, and you just think that you can achieve any of your dreams there when you're walking down the street. And I think that to play in that city in front of 80,000 people, not in, the smaller Sports Illustrated Stadium, but in actual MetLife, that is just, oof. And playing for the cup, like playing for the trophy in that city would just bring all of the tingles. That would just get me. I mean, that just has to be one of the biggest moments in anybody's career. I don't care who you are.
It is going to be special. July 19th in the Meadowlands. It is going to be the World Cup final for a hosted World Cup in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. It's going to be awesome, and we're going to continue getting excited for it all year as we head into it. Thank you once again to Kristen Press for taking the time to chat with us. Thank you, Kling, for going and sitting down with her and bringing us that interview, and then chatting with me a little bit on the backside. And don't forget to follow us wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe on YouTube, and never miss an episode. And we'll be back next week on the US Soccer Podcast.